Adopt high standards and we can begin to achieve more. Expect more growth, more development, and with the right value system, harness the tools to produce results. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkins and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. On the pages today, a look at some standards to promote growth. Also the work being done to facilitate harmonious development in communities. Plus a look back at the devastating earthquake that hit Haiti in 2010 as we approach the 5th anniversary. So sit back and relax. Jamaica Magazine starts right now.
How well do you know your child? What he or she likes or dislikes? Favorite food or color? How about who their friends are? Make the time. Get to know your child. It helps to build their relationship. Makes it easy to keep them safe and it helps their development process.
Government health centers and hospitals have an adequate supply of paracetamols like Panadol and Cetamol to treat the chikungunya virus. Paracetamol in the public health sector is free of cost. For more on chikungunya and the medication, call the Ministry of Health toll-free at 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683. Mondays to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. A message from the Ministry of Health.
High standards in the productive sector are important to ensure quality, satisfaction, and growth. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica is the government entity working to ensure that standards are maintained for our safety, protection, and competitiveness. More on that in this next feature.
The BSJ keeps us on our toes.
BSJ coming in has done wonders for organizations like us.
The BSJ is always a helpful reminder that success is not a stop sign.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
The Bureau of Standards Jamaica BSJ is on a mission to promote the international competitiveness of Jamaican producers, facilitate trade, and protect consumers by providing standardization, metrology, and regulatory services through visionary leadership, consultations, teamwork, and a committed, motivated, and professional workforce. Simply put, the BSJ strives to ensure that standards of quality for goods and services are established and that you get value for money. A few years after her birth, Jamaica began finding ways to allow for sustainable economic development. As such, the manufacturing, mining, agricultural, and tourism sectors took center stage. With the growth of these sectors, there became a need for a regulatory body. In stepped the BSJ. Established by the Standards Act of 1969, the organization promotes and encourages standardization in relation to commodities, processes, and practices.
Standardization is a process by which we ensure that there is a common understanding and agreement for the product and services that we use in our daily lives and in manufacturing and trade.
Standards are critical for national development. It's critical for establishing quality parameters. If we're developing standards for the health sector, then we would engage all the partners in what we call a technical committee, and they would sit and agree on the parameters that are required for that particular standard.
In the early years, much of the organization's focus was on developing appropriate standards to provide guidance to food processors and small manufacturers. Then, the BSJ's approach to the use of standards was mostly in the form of ensuring compliance. Also developed were a range of labeling standards to guide local manufacturers and importers of several commodities. However, over the years, as the application of standards in business evolved, the Bureau's role has expanded to include the provision of services in relation to conformity assessment, which includes certification, inspection and testing, and calibration and metrology, which deals with measurement.
We have a number of developmental programs. One of them is the National Certification Mark Program, and another one is the Jamaica Made Mark Program, and another one is the Certification in Agricultural Produce Program. These are really step programs that take you up to mark with regards to other internationally recognized programs. So they are developmental.
Now, the Bureau is at the heart of Jamaica's development. It's equipped to deliver the highest quality services to meet the demands of industries, government, and the consuming public. The organization has been propelling the nation's economy towards a stronger export push and more efficient substitution. Opportunities are here for industries to use the Bureau's quality infrastructure to achieve economic soundness in business.
We consult and we work with stakeholders and we build capacity, right, within the productive and services sectors in Jamaica in order to lift the conditions for export trade, to make us competitive and to make the country productive.
The BSJ, the national standards body in Jamaica for over 4 decades. BSJ, on a mission.
No community can thrive and make progress in an atmosphere of crime and violence. Citizens in volatile communities must unite to support positive lifestyles and development activities. It's a change the Citizen Security and Justice Program in the Ministry of National Security has been able to achieve by empowering the people. Take a look.
It was the inspiring story of the late Nelson Mandela, the first black president of South Africa, that brought this film to life. Invictus.
Who wants to play rugby? Your country is very proud.
Mandela, being portrayed by Morgan Freeman, used sport, rugby, to unite post-apartheid South Africa. Here in Jamaica, organizations and individuals working in the community of Central Village in St. Catherine are employing a similar strategy. Through sport, the community is uniting for change. Citizens are coming together to bring back the love and maintain the peace in their community. The Ministry of National Security has taken note of Mandela's words. Sport has the power to change the world, to inspire and unite people. So in conjunction with a number of non-governmental organizations, the police, churches and community members, the National Security Ministry is using its Unite for Change campaign to organize Corner League football competitions as part of a series of interventions in violence-prone communities. Central Village is one such community moving full speed ahead with the initiative, organizing Football Sundays, a combination of football, netball and counseling sessions for children to promote peace in the community.
I came here at first and saw this field, and I know this field. This field was a battlefield instead of a play field.
But things have changed for community members. The field is now what they term a business field for teams participating in the 7-a-side knockout competition. Each team enters with $1,400 and the winner receives $15,000, bragging rights, and the Unite for Change trophy from the Ministry of National Security.
You're stupid now. Oh, still cool, man. You're all day in a shot.
The football teams in Central Village are apparently huge fans of popular clubs in Spain's La Liga football competition and the English Premier League in England. They proudly sported the jersey templates of teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester City and Arsenal. But of course, they have their own unique names: Image, Riverbank, Macatree, Slash Dash, Anytime and River Plate, just to name a few. They may not have much in terms of infrastructure, and some may be physically challenged, but they are not deterred. All are determined to do great things with little. Just ask this 14-year-old captain.
We play good.
What position you play?
Forward. I would like to compete
And we love winning.
Here is Grandmouth. Oh, Grandmouth scored that one!
The females in Central Village have also risen to the occasion, forming special bonds through a game of netball. The sporting competitions have breathed new life into the St. Catherine community, bringing out scores of individuals on Sundays to socialize and restore peace. Even the animals seem contented.
Everybody's at peace. Big Lane and Little Lane that used to war, they are no war anymore. And I congratulate the police as well and the people who take part.
It's wonderful. We can come out, we can have fun. We can just do about what the Lord has set us to do on earth. Enjoy ourselves and be glad and happy.
Boys and girls who normally used to be involved in, hating each other, cursing, fighting and all these things, have been united since this. So it's something that is very good for the community.
The children are not left out of the peace-building equation. The group Children First has been conducting interactive sessions with the youngsters, offering counseling and promoting conflict resolution.
We use activities to let them express themselves. And when we get the messages out, we come up with possible solutions of how them as children can be agents of change within their community.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
I want peace in my community.
Peace, love and unity.
National Security Minister Peter Bunting has been in Central Village to witness the activities and seems quite impressed with the peace-building initiatives.
I believe we can do it and we must do it. Otherwise, we're not going to get the type of development that we need to create jobs and get prosperous communities going.
The goal now is to sustain the program, and that's where the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, will come into play.
Out of all these programs, we see where persons can traverse anywhere they want to go in the community, and we see a level of unity.
The Violence Prevention Alliance will also be monitoring the activities.
Is the crime really going down in the community? Is there a commitment towards building that peace?
Corporate Jamaica is invited to come on board and help the residents in Central Village develop a structured sports program and other amenities needed for social upliftment.
Even though we had a whole lot of war in our past, we can live together and come back together and bring any community back together, because if Central Village can be together, we all can be together.
Central Village in St. Catherine, uniting for change, using sports and counseling sessions to bring members together and promote peace in the community. To paraphrase a quote from Mother Teresa, they know they may not be able to change the world, but they are casting a stone across the waters and creating a ripple effect.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop. Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think.
Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act.
Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review.
Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
Sport is big business, and in the area of sports tourism, there's much to gain. So government is working to leverage the benefits, develop sports tourism, increase visitor arrivals, and generate income for economic growth.
Jamaica, home to world-renowned athletes, a few of the best game facilities, and award-winning rest and relaxation spots. These represent 2 of the country's biggest assets, sport and tourism. A marriage of the two has the potential to bring great earnings and development to the country. and government is positioning Jamaica to make the investment and reap the rewards.
Sports tourism is any visitor that comes to our country to either participate in sport or to view a sporting event.
We sometimes don't realize the impact that sport has on persons across the world. I remember once standing at Courtly right at the Porte Cochet, and there was a gentleman coming back sweaty and hot, and I said to him, "Sir, where are you coming from?" Walking on the road, and he says, "I just fulfilled my lifelong dream." And I was like, "Really?" And he says, "Yes." He's an Australian fellow. And he said, "I just walked to Sabina Park, got the groundsman to let me in, went on the pitch, laid myself out, took pictures, and he said, from I'm a child, I am dreaming of coming to Jamaica and having that experience."
That's a testament to the power of Grand Jamaica as a sporting destination. In 2012, the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment established the Sports Tourism Implementation Committee. Its job is to provide the framework to sustainably develop sport tourism and to leverage local and international sport events to increase visitor arrivals. A year later, the Ministry of Sport tabled the National Sport Policy, which includes plans to develop sport tourism. The two ministries are jointly pursuing the plan, and already their efforts have led to the birth of a new initiative, Jamaica Sport. Jamaica Sport was officially launched in October 2014 to explore the commercial opportunities provided by sport tourism.
This entity, Jamaica Sport, will anchor and execute the objectives of a major events attraction program and outlines a blueprint for establishing Jamaica as a major sports tourism destination in the region.
There are four main strategic areas of focus: working in tandem with the National Council on Sport to develop a mechanism for bidding on or hosting strategically important sport events. It also aims to develop a methodology to identify and select indigenous sport activities that can help market Jamaica as a major events attraction destination in the region. Jamaica Sport will also work with the Planning Institute of Jamaica and the Jamaica Tourist Board to develop an economic model for assessing sport events. And a partnership will be pursued with InSport Jamaica to develop athletes and nurture world-class talent as part of an athlete ambassador type program. That program should raise the public profile of elite athletes for the country's economic benefit. Possibilities include marketing sites linked to some of Jamaica's top athletes.
Usain Bolt's house could eventually one day become such a site, where people want to see where he grew up.
The potential for developing sport tourism as a viable market segment in Jamaica is tremendous. In 2013, 4,000 people visited the country, mainly for sport, and the belief is that the number could be significantly more, particularly as the country continues to bask in its dominance in track and field at successive Olympic Games and World Championships. For example, prior to the 2012 London Olympics, Jamaica experienced 4 consecutive years of negative growth in visitor arrivals from the United Kingdom. But in 2013, months after the Games, the country had 4.7% growth, which has continued to as recently as August 2014, when data reflected a 13% growth in arrivals from the UK.
The range of offers in Jamaica are endless, from the traditional golf, tennis, diving, track and field, and sailing, to more interesting activities such as surfing, kiteboarding, and BMX bike riding. Yes, we pretty much have it all.
Jamaica Sport represents a mix of private and public sector stakeholders. They are selling the point that Jamaica is open for business, and sport tourism is yet another product proudly representing Grand Jamaica.
The 5th anniversary of the Haiti earthquake is a couple days away. On January 12, 2010, the world watched in horror as images emerged from the quake-ravaged country. The JIS journeyed to Haiti in the aftermath of the disaster. Here's a look back at that experience.
It's a heart-wrenching horror that will forever be etched in the minds of a people and those looking on. Words can barely express the magnitude of the misery which overshadows the densely populated country.
Something that I experienced for the first time, but before that, it is happened but little bit, about 1 second, long time ago, but now it's different, about 25 seconds, that's what I hear, you know. But I see a lot of houses break down, you know, people get killed, a lot of people get killed. It is not the same like the first time, you know.
I was blessed. Nothing happened to my house or the office I was in. However, around me everything fell. It has been absolutely awful. I mean, there's no words to describe what we've been going through.
Nature's fury and buildings that follow no building code, ingredients for disaster. It's a concern for the future, but in the here and now, Haitians are just thinking of survival.
Okay, what we need is food, you know, food, water, like tent. Everything become expensive, you know, expensive. Like food is expensive. It is not the same. And it is difficult also to find them because a lot of the, you know, sellers get killed, you know, the market and etc. Break down.
I think right now, I don't feel I'm the same way I was before the earthquake. You know, it's very hard to see many people die while the earthquake. I was sitting on a public place and I felt the sensation and I run away. I call everybody, don't go home, stay in the street, stay in the street. That's the only place you can stay while the earthquake. And they accept to stay. And after I see many people, many houses fall down, many people die.
It's very terrible.
It's very
terrible. Okay, but I think it's very, it hurt me in my heart because I see my house break down and I got a brother, okay, he break his leg. It was very terrible to see that when the half-course passed. Oh, I don't know how to explain that.
But we don't know yet. We don't know yet. What are we going to do to rebuild the country or the area?
If we're still alive, I think it's a grace. Okay, God give our sins. For that reason, we want to help the older who need some help. Okay, but we're very happy to help them.
The international community was quick to respond to Haiti's plight. The airport was abuzz with activities as relief supplies came pouring into the island.
Was brighter than tomorrow.
Hi there, I'm Andrea Chisholm with your JIS News of the Week. Police Commissioner Dr. Carl Williams assured the nation this week that law enforcers would be doing everything possible to prevent an increase of criminal activities. At a press conference on Wednesday, the commissioner said the police received reports of over 20 murders since the start of the year.
We have already deployed additional JCF resources to areas most severely affected like Spanish Town and environs, and St. James, particularly Montego Bay. We are being fully supported by the JDF in this endeavor.
The police is also expecting that by the end of the year, over 500 persons will be charged under the Law Reform Fraudulent Transactions Special Provisions Act, popularly called the Anti-Lotto Scam legislation.
So far, we have about 26 persons charged under the legislation that are currently in court, and we're pursuing 400 more investigations under the legislation.
Some 21 guns for drugs syndicates operating in the country are also being targeted. And the Labour Ministry will also be intensifying activities to identify and prosecute individuals involved in employment scams across the island. This comes on the heels of several reports of fraudulent individuals offering to find jobs overseas for other persons.
Do not engage with any persons who offer you jobs abroad unless you check with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security first to make sure that they are registered with the employment agencies that the ministry gives sanction to.
Minister Kellier was addressing the first batch of farm workers who left the island on Tuesday to participate in the ministry's farm work program in Ontario, Canada. The 340 Jamaicans who will be on the program for the next 8 months will be employed in greenhouses. And news came this week that customers of the Jamaica Public Service Company JPS should benefit from a 2% reduction in electricity rates. A release from the JPS on Thursday said the company was still reviewing the decision handed down by the Office of Utilities Regulation OUR. The decision came after months of deliberation on the JPS's application for an increase in the non-fuel rates. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips announced this week that based on the government's assessment, Jamaica will pass the 7th IMF test. At Wednesday's official opening of the Scotia Group Financial Centre in Montego Bay, St. James, he said all quantitative targets and structural benchmarks for the September to December period were met.
Our success at completing these quarterly reviews is a testament to the commitment made by the government to reform the economic foundations of the country and to set sound foundations for growth.
The finance minister also reminded the nation that under the new fiscal rules, the estimates of expenditure and the revenue estimates would be tabled next month.
And we have to have, I hope, a sober, meaningful discussion about how we finance a budget.
And 5 judges appointed to serve in the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court were this week sworn into office during a ceremony at King's House. Justice Almarie Sinclair Haynes will serve in the Court of Appeal, while Kisok Christopher Leng, Chester R. Stamp, Lorna Shelley Williams and Vinette Graham Allen were sworn in as puisne judges. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen congratulated the judges and urged them to carry out their duties effectively. The Local Government and Community Development Ministry announced this week that the National Building Act to govern the construction sector is being reviewed by the Legislative Committee of Cabinet. The State Minister in the ministry, Colin Fagan, made the disclosure at Tuesday's launch of Earthquake Awareness Month. It's being celebrated under the theme Community Strengthening and Awareness, the recipe for building earthquake resilience. And those were just some of the stories making news of the week. I'm Andrea Chisholm.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. We value your feedback, so keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISNews. Also, click on our website jis.gov.jm for the very latest government information. On behalf of the hard-working team here at JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.